Now, an American enforcement operation in Minneapolis has sparked controversy after a federal agent shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. The Department of Homeland Security says the woman tried to ram ICE officers with her vehicle, calling the act violent and injuring an agent. However, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey has disputed that account, accusing federal agencies of reckless force. He urged ICE to leave the city. Available video shows agents confronting the woman in her car before gunshots are heard as she drives off. Investigations are ongoing. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem has defended the officer that he acted within training. Now, joining us from Ontario, Canada, I have Tabenyang Etchu, a geopolitical analyst, and also Alexander von Rugen, global affairs analyst, joins us from Washington, D.C. Thank you both for joining us.
My pleasure.
We do apologize for having kept you for a bit here. But let's get into this. On the withdrawal from the United Nations organizations, the U.S. pulled out of 66 international organizations and treaties. Now, the most concerning question will be for some people is about the treaties, not just about pulling out of the organizations. What does this say of where the U.S. stands in terms of global relations?
That directed at me?
Yes, that's to you. Sorry, please. I should have called you.
Okay, no problem. Well, first of all, Trump's fulfilling his election promises. He doesn't believe in global warming. So a lot of the environmental initiatives he feels were greenmailed. They were padded plans to do. They were filled with corruption. In addition to defunding the UN and USA, that was a direct result of, well, I guess going back to Elon Musk's investigation on the Department of Government Efficiency. And where is the money going, and what's it being spent on, and what benefit is it to America? You know, Trump does have a America First mentality, but it doesn't mean he isn't into global change or correction. He doesn't like the UN. He feels they're corrupt and they're ineffective. They don't get a lot of things done. So they're defunding specific programs. I think 31 UN-affiliated organizations. There's a bunch of NGOs. He's fulfilling the plan as per his promise. Now, does that keep him out of the international limelight? Of course not. Recent actions in Venezuela show that. Let's talk about Africa. His cooperation with Tinubu in Nigeria, although it's currently still active, so we don't know what the outcome is going to be. It's one of cooperation to assist Nigeria with their terrorist problem.
You know, Alexander, if I may just come in here before we try to bring in Tabenyang, this matter, I mean, some will say that pulling out of these 66 organizations is just a reactionary move because of what happened in Venezuela. He doesn't want anybody to question his actions or hold him accountable about his plans for Greenland. That's what some will be thinking.
Not at all. Not at all. These announcements of defunding have been on the table since Trump took power last January. It's nothing new. Perhaps it's a mechanism to create some noise, but it's a fulfillment of plan that was started 12 months ago.
All right, let's bring in Tabenyang. Tabenyang, it so happens that on this same day, ICE gets to shoot that woman, Reese Good, and for what they say is a threat to their officials. But what does that say about the operations of ICE in the U.S.?
Well, let's not forget that whatever actions he is taking, whether it is in the foreign policy or domestic policy, this is essentially the administration's realignment with an American First agenda that he ran on. So I don't think that there is anything that is new for what he's trying to do. He campaigned on that, and he is implementing what he campaigned on. there is heightened tension within. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. But the question I asked, maybe you didn't hear me. I'm saying that, yes, this move by the president, yes, it's something that the fulfillment of campaign promises. But it so happens that on this day that this is being announced, this is the same day that it looks as if enforcement of the immigration policies have led to the death of an individual in Minneapolis. But so how do we tie this all in?
Well, some might assume that this is a distraction based on the pressure from the incident that happened in Minneapolis. But I don't think so, because these plans were already done even during the first administration. He had threatened doing some of these things during the first administration. When he came in during the second term, he had already all of these things aligned for him to take action. I think this is just a coincidence. I don't really think that it might be considered as if he's trying to distract, because he's been on the immigration situation. As far as he's concerned, there is nothing that is going to hold him back in the actions that he has taken.
So, Tabenyang and Alexander, I'd like to crave your indulgence. I will speak to the producers to see if we can have this conversation again, maybe on Monday or Tuesday, if that's okay with the both of you. But we really have to run at this point in time. I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. We had Tabenyang Etchu, a geopolitical analyst, joining us from Ontario, Canada, and from Washington, D.C. We had Alexander von Rugen, global affairs analyst.
I'm in Washington, D.C.
I think you've reversed it.
I reversed
Ontario,
it.
My colleague is in Washington.
Oh, I'm so sorry. See me, my bad. So Alexander is in Washington, D.C., and Tabenyang is in Ontario, Canada. Thank you both. As I said, the producers will reach out to you. If it's okay with you, we'll do this again on Monday or on Tuesday, so I will have more time to have this conversation in depth. Thank you once again.